Folks, we got a jam-packed hour for you. Look at this. More winning on Wall Street with markets soaring to brand new highs. All of the major averages setting records today. Plus, new hope the longest war in U.S. history may be coming to an end. New details from the State Department about a peace plan with the Taliban. And President Trump this afternoon sounding off on the sentencing of Roger Stone while praising the Justice Department for intervening. Could this be the beginning of another Democrat push for impeachment? All of that and a lot more coming up. Sounding the alarm, one Wall Street icon making a rare and dire warning to Democrats after last night's New Hampshire primary results. Hi, everybody. This is Bulls and Bears. We're glad you could join us. I'm David Asman. Joining me on the panel today, Steve Moore, Zachary Karabell, Scott Martin, and Liz Peek. Well, Bernie Sanders taking the lead last night in New Hampshire, building momentum going into Nevada and South Carolina.
Now, our campaign is not just about beating Trump. It is about transforming this country. It is about having the courage to take on Wall Street, the insurance companies, the drug companies, the fossil fuel industry, the military-industrial complex.
The Sanders surge, an issue now with moderate Democrats concerned that voters won't want a socialist transformation of America. Former Goldman CEO and 2016 Hillary Clinton supporter Lloyd Blankfein sounding off with a tweet, quote, if Dems go on to nominate Sanders, the Russians will have to reconsider who to work for to best screw up the U.S. Sanders is just as polarizing as Trump, and he'll ruin our economy, doesn't care about our military. If I'm Russian, I go with Sanders this time around, end quote. So will a Sanders nomination hand the election to Donald Trump? What do you think, Liz?
I think the answer is yes, but I have to say Bernie Sanders probably could not find anyone to go after him on Twitter that he'd be more excited about than Lloyd Blankfein. That's probably a badge of honor in Sanders' camp. But yeah, I mean, look, it's not just Lloyd Blankfein. All kinds of Democrat notables have been out there saying this could be a McGovern kind of loss, a disaster for the Democratic Party. Why? Because only 24% of the country identifies themselves as liberal. They are not going to elect, this country is not going to elect Bernie Sanders.
Well, and that's the interesting point, Liz, is that when you talk about the identification of liberalism, right, in America, and you use that word, David, transform, that's a very, very powerful word to say in today's environment, especially considering we're record 401k balances, we have record balances in brokerage accounts, stock market records every other day, it seems like. You've got job growth, obviously, off the charts. There's a lot of great...
And it's what you would be transforming to, right, which is socialism in this case.
So why do you push that message so hard? I mean, so fortuitously saying, like, oh, this is what we're going to do. We're going to change everything. Everything's already great. Why would you want to change that? And how is that going to get you the nomination and or the presidency?
50% of Americans own stocks, have 401ks. Less than 50% do not. So there's certainly enough people out there who feel like
we're getting there. Though,
I'm just saying that there are certainly wellsprings of discontent, some of which genuine and based on real economics. Even though the overall numbers are quite good. Look, Bernie Sanders is running as if it's 1932, and I do think that that is a real problem in 2020. That being said, there is, and we're always fighting the last war, I think a tendency to overestimate Donald Trump, who should, by all rights, be much more ahead of the pack given this economy. And there is a tendency, I think, to overestimate him relative to the underestimation of him in 2016.
I worked on the 2016 campaign pretty much from early 2016. When I got involved, the betting was
the Trump campaign, just in case nobody out there knows.
And then, and people said Trump has a 1 in 100 chance of winning. Right. So, with all due respect to Liz, and I think you're right in your analysis, but, strange things can happen in American politics. Yeah. And, if the economy takes a tumble or so on in the next 9 months, what's frightening really is that you have so many Democratic primary voters, and maybe you can explain this one to me, Zach. I mean, how can so many Democrats be going out and voting for Bernie Sanders?
A lot of people have pointed out that Bernie Sanders won 60% of the New Hampshire vote in 2016, and granted, that was against one other person. This is a fractured field. But 26% of the vote is not a lot. That is a marginal candidate, even within the party. Now, given the way this is lining up, a marginal candidate within the party could well end up getting the nomination. But it's more about the fracturing of the party, and therefore, if 30% of the vote is is enough, and he wins the nomination with 30% of the vote, that's not indicative of this incredible wellspring of support. It's indicative of a broken system, and it's a problem for the Democrats because a marginal Republican, given the electoral map, marginal given national attitudes, which I think people thought Trump was in 2016, can win the presidency. I do not think that the electoral map will ever allow a marginal Democrat to do so.
I come back to polling. I love polling. And Gallup has all these polls out lately that show 90% of Americans are more than satisfied. They're very satisfied with their personal life. You're going to tell them you're going to throw the system that gave them that satisfaction totally upside down and in the trash heap? For what?
Yeah, I agree.
What's the
hence my
alternative?
point about running as if it's 1932.
And to Steve's point, I mean, Steve, let's just say the economy does have a hiccup. I mean, coronavirus or not, something else happens. A black swan swims up in the summer and knocks off the economy, knocks off the record stock market.
Nobody expected.
Does anybody have any confidence that the Democrats have the answers? I mean, with respect to socialism, takeover of government, regulation, taxing Wall Street, all these things that are out there as far as what the fix is, as far as the Democrats are concerned. Does anybody actually think that that's something that's going to fix the recession?
Yesterday, we were talking about how Klobuchar, if she came in strong, which she did, she was not a winner, she was not the top two,
better
but she
than
was
expected.
Better than expected.
Yeah.
Could the party turn to her, the Democrat Party turn to her as somebody who's not going to transform America, but just kind of move it more to the center?
That's the point. I mean, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren are about 35% of the Democrat primary vote, and that really hasn't changed for quite a long time. What's up for grabs is the moderate lane. Amy Klobuchar came on strong. Pete Buttigieg is coming on strong. And look, Bloomberg's out there with $2 billion in his pocket or whatever it takes to take the nomination, which I think he has a very good chance of doing.
The two big winners last night were Donald Trump and Michael Bloomberg.
No question.
Yeah, well, here we are. Today is the day after the primaries. Markets soaring to new record highs. So I want to know, what are investors telling us about last night's results, if anything, Steve?
The markets want Donald Trump to be reelected. The market's up 60% since he was
And they think
elected.
a Bernie victory is going to make that a better chance.
Look, I don't like this idea, Klobuchar is some kind of moderate Democrat. I mean, look at her record in the Senate. I mean, she's a left-winger, too.
Compared to Bernie Sanders. Everything is relative.
Yes. No, but I mean, look at her record. She's 80 to 90% liberal voting record. So I think the markets have looked at this kind of look, Trump is pro-business. And when you're pro-business, you're pro-investor. So, they want
on this one, I disagree. And I think the market's basically been up since 2009. There have been a lot of hiccups. There's been 15% corrections and 20% corrections because of taper, because of interest rates, because of all sorts of things. Markets have been up because the economy has been generally in an upward trajectory for the past 9 years. And I think it's fine to give Trump credit for that. I think it's fine to have given Obama some credit for that. I think until markets feel like there's actually legislative stuff on the agenda that will get passed, or that the debt somehow is making interest rates soar, there is absolutely no reason for markets not to be up.
But you can't get past the policy differences of those two presidents. President Obama raised taxes. He increased regulations dramatically. President Trump did exactly the opposite. And President Obama, you mentioned this 9 or it's 11-year, I guess, run that we've had with the markets. President Obama took over at the absolute bottom of the market.
And had a bunch of stimulus behind him, too, which, to your right, Zach, I mean, the Fed has been very accommodative, let's say. But the other weird thing, though, to me about the markets, I mean, being an investor and investing folks' money, we get to these higher and higher levels, and the markets go higher and higher still. I mean, it's one thing to say, yeah, the markets are bouncing off Dow 15,000, Dow 20. And we're approaching, my friends, Dow 30, and we're approaching NASDAQ 10K. So those are incredible numbers given what's ahead of us.
Very quick, Liz, we got to go.
One reason for that is that the estimates keep going up. Estimates of earnings, estimates of growth. Right now, we're looking at growth estimates for this year for GDP
close
going
to double
up.
digits, double digits earnings growth.
And the liberal media keeps saying, no, we're not going to grow, and all this
flat earnings growth year last year, though, and the markets are up 30%.
First and last word by Scott. You did it, Scott. The fight over funding, Treasury Secretary.